It's a difficult time with the economic downturn and budget cuts and pressures on colleges to be more productive and more efficient with less. Where are you addressing some of those challenges?
Well, I think that that's why one of the focuses that we've had with the Developmental Education Initiative is we are continually asking ourselves, how do we institutionalize this practice? So once the grant funds have actually dried up, are we still going to be able to maintain what it is that we're doing? And that is extremely important to us. And so we continue to look for different ways that we can institutionalize all of the programs that we have in place. And that's why it was important for us to seek volunteers for the advocacy program. We look to our faculty, we look to our staff, and they're all volunteering. We are not paying any of those individuals. So that's a resource that you can always have. In addition to that, as we have talked about this initiative, and it's been both conversations that we've had internal but also external, there are some other ideas that have actually risen to the top, and that's where we can continue to sustain the population of advocates that we need to be reaching out to students. Some of the other ideas that we're going to put into practice would be using our students who have been through the developmental education program similar to Thomas and are now working on their college level coursework to be advocates. And then we also look at a large population of retirees from Guilford Tech Community College, individuals that know the college who still would like to have that contact with students. And so we're going to be tapping into that population. So that's just one of the ways that we're planning on sustaining the initiatives that we have. The other thing that we really tried to do, we have two other initiatives that we're really focusing on with the DEI. One of those initiatives is what we call the Specialized SOAR. And this is a program that's put in place specifically for students, developmental students who have scored into 2 or more developmental courses that they are going to need to brush up on. And so this is part of our regular operating SOAR. These students, though, actually have a little bit of a different path that they take during that process. So the more of these initiatives that we can integrate into existing practices that we have, the better that we're going to be. The other thing that we're looking at is our pre-compass review. And this is something that we've set up in order to help students who are going to take the compass, which is our placement test. Sometimes students have been away from mathematics or writing fundamentals, and they need a little bit of brush up. And sometimes students have a little bit of gaps with regards to their learning. And so what we're looking at is this is a program that we've developed. We have it both face-to-face and online now, where students can actually come in and they can either take it in a face-to-face environment, a review session that talks about test-taking techniques, as well as the subject that is being covered during the review session, whether that be reading, writing, and mathematics. And we also have that same opportunity for students in an online environment that includes some progress checks that they must do in order to complete the given subject that they're trying to brush up for. But this is also something that we're trying to integrate into what we already do. And so you don't have to have a lot of additional funds in order to maintain this progress. And you're absolutely right. The economy and the downturn in the economy has had an impact across community colleges in the United States. And we haven't been untouched by that. In fact, we had approximately 22% increase last year with students who were seeking to come in and retrain to walk away with a different skill set in order to be marketable. And so we're continuing to see that. In fact, we were up about 20% for the summer as far as enrollment was concerned, and we're going to feel that same impact, I'm sure, for the 2010-2011 school year. And so we're being creative with regards to the way that we offer courses. We're offering a lot more courses later on in the afternoon. We're also looking at more evening classes and even weekend classes in order to meet the demand of students. We also have a fairly healthy online program, And so that not only provides convenience for students, but that's another way that we can expand the course offerings that we have in order to meet student demand.
What other data can you imagine would inform many of the programs that you're looking at? For instance, whether the online learning courses are more effective or just as effective as having face to face, or what other things are still yet to be determined by data?
Well, I think that we're already at the point where we're taking a look at the effectiveness of our online courses versus our hybrid courses, and that's a combination of both the online and the face-to-face and then the pure face-to-face courses. But interestingly enough, we all know that students need to have exposure to technology. So even our face-to-face classes have a large technology component. In fact, a lot of the faculty will include their syllabus in an online component where students will actually access our learning management system that we use for our totally online classes to pick up on different things that the faculty want them to have access to. And so it's been very interesting. But we have delved into that, and we're always taking a look with regards to our data. Right now, what we find is we're a few percentage points off between the success rates in our face-to-face and our online and our hybrid. Our hybrid seems to have the greatest success rates, and that's telling us that that engagement for students is so very important. And as we continue to improve our online courses, we're making sure that there are more opportunities for students to engage themselves in the course material, but also to engage with one another as well as the faculty member. So we'll continue to use data in that process. But really, it's in everything that we do. It's part of being a learning college. We have to make sure that we're actually doing things that have an impact, a positive impact on student learning. And everything that we do, everything that we say, the dollars that we spend and budget, the question should always be in the back of any institution's mind, but it's something that we strive for at GTCC is how does this affect student learning? And I think that's why data has been such an important tool for us, and we feel extremely lucky and blessed to have been able to have the opportunity that we did with Achieving the Dream and establishing our data warehouse and allowing us the platform or the foundation to build the rest of our work upon.
Well, it's going to be very important to have the larger conversation and for other community colleges to hear what you're doing and participating and building a culture of learning. What can you imagine you would like to learn about what other colleges are doing or ways that they could share and learn from you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have said this before and I repeat it on a regular basis. Probably one of the best professional development experiences that I ever have is going and visiting other colleges or sitting down with my peers and talking about what is happening, what are the things that you're doing, because there are so many wonderful practices out there. We definitely don't have the market on all of it, and we know that. There are a couple of different things that we're specifically working on right now. There are things that we want to implement at GTCC. One of those is the NCAT, and I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's actually a modular approach to developmental mathematics. And it allows the student to come in and to start work and progress at his or her own pace. But what it's allowing the student to do is it's allowing the student to either refresh if that's what's needed or to fill in gaps if that's what's needed before they go on to the next level. We're working right now on establishing a program very similar to that at GTCC. We're in the process of actually participating in an RFP, and we hope that we'll be successful with that. But I think that we've also decided as an institution that in order for us to get a handle on success for developmental mathematics students, that we're probably going to move forward one way or the other because we feel very very sure that this is a good route for our students. From what I understand of what I've read about the program itself, because there are 13 other community colleges, I believe, or maybe a mixture of community colleges and universities who have actually participated in this program, and they're showing some really good early results. They're showing increases in student success, and this is also a way that they found to actually reach out to a lot of students and doing it in an economical manner. You had talked a little bit about how are we dealing with influx of students and meeting student demand. The NCAT is one of the programs that's allowing colleges to do just that. So that's something we're really excited about. But I think that is one of the avenues that we're all looking toward as community colleges, and that's a competency-based model where students actually are acquiring certain competencies as they go. It's not so much that this is the material that's involved in Math 60 and then Math 70 and Math 80, but it's taking a look at the competencies that a student must have in order to be successful in college level math. And so that's why I'm really excited about that program.
Well, it's at the recent convening, I heard a lot about transforming developmental math, and this sounds like it's going to be an important component as far as having a customized learning experience for each student, and then allowing them to move ahead and gain credits along the way, and not just have a single pathway for them. And I know there's going to be many more conversations, but is there maybe just in closing something that you'd like to have offer to the other colleges and maybe a way of continuing this conversation online and with you and your college?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we know for a fact that there are so many institutions out there that are doing wonderful things. And I think that that's really the key to all of this. We have to keep communicating with one another. If we can manage to build on what other people are doing, then we don't necessarily have to go back and recreate that wheel. And I think that community colleges have that reputation. We've always been willing to share. We've been willing to talk to other people about our successes. And we've also not been afraid to talk about the things that weren't working for us, and so that institutions could learn from that. And I sincerely hope, and I can't imagine that this wouldn't happen, but I sincerely hope that those kinds of conversations will continue, both in a formal manner when we're able to attend institutes and different conferences, but also in an informal manner as we're picking up the phone and talking to one another, or as we're actually documenting the different things that are happening at our institutions. I know that MTUC has been a champion of that in helping us to get the word out about what's happening at our institution, and that's been extremely useful. The website that's been established for us so that we can communicate with one another has also been an invaluable tool.
How does what you're doing connect to a statewide policy change?
Well, it connects very handedly because a lot of times when you're a community college, you're going to be in some sort of system. And that system will typically set policy, and not because it is meant to be a deterrent, but sometimes it can hamper the things that individual colleges want to do. And so it's extremely important that colleges can have dialogue with their system office, that the suggestions and the ideas that we have are taken seriously and they're receptive to the idea. We're very lucky in North Carolina. I can definitely say that. The president of our system, Dr. Scott Walls, is extremely interested in making sure that we're doing everything that we can possibly do to make students successful, especially our developmental students. We're focused on student success. In fact, he has actually reached out to the 58 community colleges, and that's one of the questions that he's asked is what is there about the policies or the practices that we have in place that's hampering your work? What kinds of policies and practices could we put in place to help you? And then not only did he ask the question, but he listened. And you can see that there are changes that are occurring right now. I've been fortunate enough to be able to work on the state policy team. And one of the things that's really being emphasized is innovation, different avenues and different ways that we can continue to improve what we're doing. And whether that's the fact that we're actually improving the quality of what we're doing, or does that mean that we're able to get students through developmental education in a faster manner? Whatever the case might be, the focus has definitely been on innovation, finding out what works, and then implementing it system-wide.
Well, Brenda, it's been great talking to you and inspiring to hear about the innovation that's going on at Guilford Tech. So thank you.
Well, we thank you, and we thank you for the opportunity. As I mentioned, this is such an exciting time to be at GTCC, and we're thankful that we've been given this opportunity.
That's great. Okay. Talk to you again. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Amy. Bye-bye.
Bye.